And we are live. Hey, I'm Nicole, and this is M Parts. What's up,
We
No
live,
Face?
baby. Hey, how you doing? We at it again, back at it again.
Back at it again one more time. Yeah,
All
so I got a few topics to talk about.
right.
Yeah, so first I wanted to start with Diddy.
The Diddler.
The yeah. The diddler. Okay, now have you heard the latest with Diddy?
Oh man, I don't know what the latest, but
The latest. Yeah, like
yeah,
as
no, what's that?
latest. Although I knew it and heard some whispers before. But CNN altered the Cassie video. Did you hear that?
Um, I'm sure it was edited. I don't know. No, I didn't hear about that, but I seen what I seen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
You
they,
see
it's not like they
what I'm saying?
CGI'd it. He didn't
So
actually kick her.
so the altering means nothing to you.
No,
So
I
the
mean, how
fact
did they
that
all?
things were changed in the video, things were moved around, sped up, possibly put in or taken out.
They probably looked at it. It
Altering
looked so
means
bad in
nothing.
slow motion.
I don't know about slow motion.
Well, if it was in regular motion because it was. That's what I'm saying. Like, how was it
If they
altered
can
though?
move things and move things out of place, that's altering a video, not just speeding up. Speeding up was one of the allegations. And
Yeah.
and on top of the altering, they deleted and destroyed the original copy. Why do that? Why alter it? First of all, but why delete and destroy the original? Second of all,
Yeah, I don't know. I need some more. I would need some more context. Like, exactly did they do? Because I know that they
nobody
usually would
knows.
edit them. Yeah,
Nobody
but
knows.
was he actually kicking the vase and then
You
not
see
kicking
what I'm
her?
saying? It could be that. It could be anything.
I
If
don't
if
think so. Though.
something was right, that's the problem with you, No Face. That's the problem that I have with you is that they could show you practically anything of anybody, and it sounds like you'll believe it. You don't question things. Do you
I mean, I
question?
do question things. Of course, I do. But I think it was clear what was happening in that video.
So the fact that the video was altered doesn't change your mind at all. Doesn't even bring a question to your head. Not even a
Um,
question like,
I would expect anything that was. I would expect it to be edited, which means it's altered, which means they might take some clips out and they took some parts out that were irrelevant to the beating and wanted to be have a more efficient. I don't know exactly what it means when you're. I don't know what it actually pertains to when you say there it's edited because of course it's going to be edited.
no, of course it doesn't have to be edited. Maybe they could show us a piece of it, what they show on the actual news. They can just show us a clip. But if they got some evidence, what's considered evidence from the hotel, because supposedly I guess people thought that the police department had given the video to the media. But it was CNN who went and got the video directly. So they're the only ones who had an original copy. So they don't take the original copy to the police or to the media and just show a part of it. No, they change it and then they take it to the media and the
Yeah.
police. That's important. That's important that they destroyed the original. So it's not like we can go back and see what they changed, what they edited. Why get rid of the original? Because if what you did was just to make it shorter so we can get a little summary and an idea of what Diddy did, then why not have the actual proof as backup? Why get rid of the actual proof if it really states your case? That's what I think when I hear oh.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I would need more. I don't know what they altered it. Are they saying that he didn't actually kick her? He didn't actually push her. He wasn't actually in a towel. He was like, I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
since they altered it to make it look how they want it to look, then they're not actually saying CNN is not saying what they changed.
Yeah,
But
and
what
that's
changed?
something that sorry that's something that makes it inadmissible in court, but this ain't
Well,
court. Like this is the court of public opinion, and I don't think that
this
changes.
is, but once it go,
Yeah,
but if that is inadmissible in court because they say this that video, the Cassie video, is what kicked off.
altered. It's not the original form. Then yeah, you can't present that
No,
in court. But
right, and this video is what kicked off this whole case and looking into Diddy in the first place, right? Because
yeah,
Cassie said she was a victim. She was forced into these freak offs. She was trying to leave a freak off in that video. She said when he forced her back and beat her. So
yeah,
this is the like the staple for the whole case, pretty much. So if this is inadmissible, that could ruin the whole case for the DA. They may not have a case.
yeah. There was no case for that though, so I don't think that's going to change the RICO case that he's got going on. I think he's cooked on the RICO case either way.
How? Have you seen? This is back to what I was saying in a prior video. What have you seen that can prove racketeering, conspiracy? Where's the evidence of the RICO? There's not even a conspirator that they charge.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't really care about the case.
Hmm.
I just feel like um he's a bad guy, you know. And there's nothing that's gonna. And he does do all these weird shit. This weird shit. Did you see that day 26? I don't think you.
You asked me that before. I still ain't seen the whole video. I've seen
Well, you
clips.
got. Well,
Okay,
they're
I
talking about
seen clips
the
to
guy Q.
have this conversation. So go ahead and ask your question. I've
What
seen.
he's talking about, they're talking about it. He said he's not comfortable like getting the details, but you
Mhm.
got every member of that band, Day 26, crying when they're talking about Diddy. So what makes six grown men cry or however many there are if there's nothing to it? Like obviously there's some diabolical shit going on. I think that makes it obvious to me.
Okay, this is what I saw. Vlad asked them about this Diddy shit and all these charges and have they seen any weird stuff and has he done anything to them, and they was like, nah, we ain't seen that, we don't know why he be in charge like this is crazy, like this is
Yeah,
way further than just some him being freaky, like, nah, we ain't seen no crazy shit like that. Did he ain't never can yeah, he was a hard ass and he made us work and yeah, he didn't pay us like we felt like we should have got paid. But nah, he ain't never did no we ain't seen no weird ass, no freak off and I don't know nothing about that. They all said that.
yeah,
Then the one dude started crying. He started crying because he saw an email.
right.
It's not a video, but read an email, okay?
Well,
And
it's an email.
he
There could be a
started
video in an
crying,
email.
but he didn't say it was a video. So
No, he
if
didn't give any details.
he said email, email just sounds like he read words, okay?
Yeah,
And he started crying,
yeah.
right? And then Vlad asked him, did you tell your bandmates about this at the time? Because, and I'm glad Vlad asked that because they just said they ain't seen or heard or nothing crazy. So if dude had told them that before, if this email was so traumatic, that they're crying about it still now, that should have been the top of their mind always. So I'm skeptical about those 6 men. They all started crying after the one dude started crying. It was like you have to show compassion and emotion when your bandmate is sitting there crying over an email that he probably ain't even described to them. And then on
No,
top of
he
that,
described it. He described it to them.
then what
They
did he
know.
say was in it?
He said that he didn't give any details, but what I take from it is like I think that it was a video, and I think that there was something that was happening where he was engaging in a sacrifice, and he did something terrible to another person. I'm being serious.
Oh, you
And
are.
then
Oh,
yeah,
because it sounds like you're making it up out of It
No,
has.
because you gotta watch like you watch the clip. I'll send it to you or
It's
whatever.
the
But
Vlad interview you're talking about, though, right?
yeah, yeah. And there was a part where they were supposed to cut it, but Vlad still put it in.
Uh huh.
But yeah, at one point he's like, and then laugh. How could you do that to this person and then laugh about it? Ha ha ha! Like it was talking about like some evil stuff. I don't know. I don't know if he was.
I heard him
Yeah,
say that. You know, it's
yeah,
like little implications. Matter of fact, I heard Boosie. Boosie's like, why didn't y'all? They just say what the fuck he did. Like, just leaving these little seeds planted in people's head without actually just clarifying what the fuck happened is unfair. Unfair to anybody. So
I
I'm
think
not
people.
with that shit that they did on Vlad. Just say what the fuck happened or shut up. So
Yeah, but it's like
all of
there's.
them
I think
crying
people
was
are scared. We're talking
fake
about the
as
Vatican. We're talking about powerful
all
people.
of them crying was fake as fuck. If you
But
follow
what they should.
those
So you're
names
saying that
crying,
they
only
shouldn't have been
after the one started crying, it's like they don't want the backlash of being insensitive. So
right.
all six of them started crying. It looked
Yeah.
stupid as fuck to me.
So
I was
they should have never been singers. They should have been actors because they're clearly like Oscar worthy actors.
anybody could cry, nigga. You cried before. It's fake as
But
fuck.
I can't cry on a fucking dime in front
Yeah,
of a camera.
if your reputation depend on it, if whatever is important to you depend on it, yes the fuck you can. And
Well
they did.
they should be actors.
The one got up and left because he couldn't barely even cry. So he just got up and left like I can't do this.
Nah, I think that's way off. Like people are not gonna cry if they can not if they can help it. Especially grown men.
Usually, about 20 years ago, I would agree with you. Yes, but not now, not today. Too many people are worried about how they look online to the internet. So those men didn't start crying. They didn't even have a problem with what Diddy was doing. That was the first question I seen. I don't know if it was the beginning of the show or not. But he asked them, "Have you seen any of this that Diddy's being accused of? And have you any of this? You know what I mean? The freak offs and the sex trafficking. They ain't seen nothing, nothing, nothing. They just wanted to get paid. They just wanted they money that Diddy is due to them. But all of this other stuff he's being charged with, they not even feeling that. And until the other guy spoke. And they wasn't even crying then. But Vlad kicked it off when he said, "Did you tell your bandmates about this at the time?" And he's like, "Yeah, I told them." And then they're like, "Yeah, he told us." Then now they're crying because now they have to back his play. They have to. And then what was funny is they brought up Dawn, I believe it's Dawn from
Yeah.
Diddy Dirty Money and from the girl group. She's suing Diddy. So dude was like, I used to date Dawn. So I'm thinking, he really got some stories to tell. He said he don't know nothing about what Dawn is talking about. Diddy did to her. Now he feel like she was doing some sneak shit with Diddy behind his back while he was dating her. So he
Yeah.
don't trust her. He don't trust Diddy. That like flipped the script for me because I really thought he was gonna like have her back and be like, yeah, I kind of knew something was funny, but he was like, I didn't know nothing about none of that she's talking about. And now that she bringing this up now, that shit was going down while we was together. So I feel like she was like sneaking with Diddy, sneaky linking and shit with Diddy. So
Yeah.
he flipped the script on that. It's all none of these people believe the other in terms of day 26, don't believe Dawn, and then they don't believe Sarah and Chopper and the one that suck his thumb don't believe Sarah because I mean, we lost No Face. But the point is, these people are going with the flow, and the flow right now is to bash Diddy to get what you can out of him. All right, we got No Face back in the house. I was making the point, No Face, that that these people are just going with the flow. And the flow right now is to bash Diddy and to get what you can because Sarah's suing him for 60 million. Okay, that bitch can't be trusted. I saw her little reality show with her family. She is you want to talk about a 304, you want to talk about a dirty bitch. That's Sarah. She ready to throw her whole family away for a little bit of fame, a little bit of fame, and that not even a lot. So I don't think
Yeah,
these
yeah.
people got
But that
much more than a grudge against Diddy.
yeah, but those can both be true at the same time. It just doesn't take away from the fact that Diddy is a diabolical person.
Yeah,
And I like
but you use these words specifically for celebrities. And it's only based on the fact that they are celebrities, that they got to where they are because they had to step on other people. That is your only basis for saying that. You really don't have no facts or evidence, and that's not fair for anybody. You should have evidence of these things.
yeah, but this is not court. I'm not held to that standard of proving him beyond a reasonable doubt.
No, but you should be held to some standard. You should. It ain't just that you're believing what's said about a person just because lots of people are saying it.
But
Lots of people can be
that's not the case
following
with me.
one person. Lots of people can be in it for the wrong reason.
Yeah, and they mostly are. And they
Yours
even
is
tell
mainly your own personal. I don't like the dude.
no, it's not. I don't know him. I don't. And then even back to that interview with Vlad, the guy Q was saying that it's not just, and he kind of like echoed what I was saying. Not that
Mhm.
he echoed what I was saying, but um, it's like it's not just Diddy. It's like everybody was a part of it. Like yeah, that's what it is. Like it's not just Diddy. It's he's the victim in the sense that he's the one being targeted and being scapegoated as this only person, this one person conglomerate, this one person conspiracy, RICO case, racketeering. But it's a whole team. It's a whole
Oh,
culture of this type of stuff, and
um,
whatever. And the reason why they're going just for him is disingenuous, and it's not fair to him. But that doesn't absolve him of what he's who he is and what he's been doing.
well, again, you still, and if it's so many people, there would be more proof, right? Why is the Cassie video the only thing that we've seen? Like, if there's more evidence, because right now I'm going by what I see, and as far as what he's being charged at, they ain't proved that to me. He might be diabolical. I'm sure he's sus, and I'm sure he prefers men more than women. But I don't see him forcing people to have sex with him or to have sex with other people. I don't see him forcing people to uh, take drugs or giving people drugs unknowingly so he can do things with them. I think he is in a position where he that people will willingly do these things. Willingly, and matter of fact, Day 26 said that. They said it was all consensual. They said nobody was forced. Even through those tears, they said that. Watch the interview again if you didn't hear that. Nobody was forced. It's all consensual. So where's the problem? You know? How are you gonna charge somebody with forcing people um and sex crimes when these people are willing participants?
Yeah, and when it pertains to that, I agree with that, but that's not all that. That's not all that I'm talking about or referring to.
Okay.
It's a lot more. It's just the fact that he's just an oppressive. He be doing fuckery. He's just a weird dude.
Fuckery. We know that. We know that. But that's the point though. You can't just lock somebody up for the rest of their life because they do fuckery. You know what I mean? Because he
Right.
had to go walk miles for cheesecake, or because he didn't pay the royalties, or he took somebody, um, you know what the fuck I'm talking about? That musical shit, rights or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and I agree.
You know what I mean? That's the fuckery. That's not uh these horrendous charges. You know, that's a totally different thing. That's what I'm getting at with you. I know you don't like him, and you don't like all.
That's why I don't like him.
Okay,
I mean, me not liking him is like it's not it's irrelevant. It's whether if I like him or not. It's just that he's just a bad person.
okay. So bad, as in being charged with crimes you didn't commit and get sent away to prison forever. Bad, or bad, as in you need to pay people that you made money off of from their music, pay them, they give them their worth, and
No, I'm not here to. No, I'm not. I don't care what happens to him or what. I don't. I'm not here to say that he needs to be punished for anything. I just know what type of shit that he's into and what type of shit that they're into, and nobody is nobody is immune from criticism. Or I mean, people should understand. Ultimately, people should understand how evil this shit is. You know.
okay. And when you say, I assume you're talking about the whole industry. You're talking bigger
Yeah,
than
the whole industry.
talking the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah.
You gonna school us on that one day? Because it sounds like
Yeah.
you know something that we don't. So maybe, I
No,
wouldn't mind.
I know it's not nothing that I know that nobody else does. Everybody, people know.
Everybody don't know. So you can.
Yeah, everybody don't know. It's not like it's some exclusive information that I have. It's just
Well,
that it's just the Illuminati shit. You know, the Vatican shit.
okay. Okay. All right, we can definitely talk more about that. Do you think everybody in the music industry is under that?
Yeah, under that, not necessarily that everybody participates, but
Hmm.
in some way, shape, or form, yeah, they're under it
Mm. Do you
for
think
sure.
there are any independents that are not under the Illuminati rule but are still successful? Are there
I think
any?
so. Yeah, and those
Who?
are the people that are like the people like where's the guy with Tory Lanez?
Ooh.
The people that are independent and not under the labels, not owned by a Jewish record label.
Is also in prison, dropping
Right,
music,
that's what happens.
still doing big shit behind bars. I mentioned this before. The resilience of these niggas when they get behind bars is amazing. We
Yeah,
can everything. Black people, we can do everything. Like for real. Corey's doing his shit. It ain't stopped none of them because they always say that these celebrities, when they go to jail, they won't be able to handle it. They're so used to this life extravagant lifestyle that to have to deal with the means of the type of living that you have in prison. They think it's just gonna crush. It's like the buck breaking type shit, and
yeah.
it hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened to Bill Cosby. This nigga was in his 80s when he went to jail, and he did 3 years. He was doing 3 to 10. He got out. It was overturned, but he still did 3. But I mean, it didn't break him. It ain't breaking none of them. Diddy, um, Boosie, all of these niggas who go to prison, they get out and they be better than Tory Lanez. He's doing good. So the plan that the man be coming with don't work anyway.
I mean, it does work because look at he got his look how much he's had to had to sacrifice. He sacrificed his freedom. He's
It's
not a
definitely
free man.
a sacrifice. It's definitely a sacrifice. It's beating a
Right. So
motherfucker
it's
down.
not like it doesn't work. It's not like people are going to be like, oh, I want to be just like Tory Lanez and be in prison. So it
Oh,
does
so
work.
you're saying they're not, so there's gonna be less Tory Lanez now. There's gonna be less
Yes.
trying to go
This is
independent.
what happens every time. Everybody understands that if you want to take this route, this is what you're going to be subjected to. This is what you're going to be at risk of happening to you. You rather be just a regular ass person than be Tory Lanez and be a celebrity that's successful that's a slave that has been stripped of all his constitutional rights as a prisoner.
Yeah, but it shouldn't stop. It shouldn't stop people from being independent and less like Tory Lanez, because it doesn't matter if you look at a Diddy who you say was basically bought and sold, by the industry, right? So he
Right.
followed the path that they wanted him to take. He
And
became
it's still, yeah, and it's still like it still don't work out. Nobody can, you can't participate in this sinister game because it's the devil's game, and the devil's gonna win in the end, anyways.
okay. I like that.
So it's best to just not participate if you want your sanity, if you want your health and your well being to be intact.
I like that. That's good shit. Good advice. Good advice. All right. So we're about to talk about the next topic, which
All right.
is Dr. Umar. I want to jump back on this discussion. We talked a little bit about it the other night, but basically, he was called a deadbeat by his daughter because she says he's never been there, never been a part of her life, never been to any games, any graduations, anything. And he
Yeah.
says, "What you mean? I'm a deadbeat? I've been paying child support basically since you were born. So who are you calling a deadbeat?" So I want to know your thoughts about deadbeat and paying child support. Can you be a deadbeat if you're paying child support?
Yeah, you certainly can. And if you're not paying, and you're not a deadbeat, if you not necessarily if you don't, but it sounds like a money grab to me. It sounds I don't know. It's hard for me to it's hard for me to say and stand on what I think it is because it's hard because I'm not in a privileged position to know.
Hmm.
But it's just really messy. I know that, and it's not a good look for him. It's his
Right.
image that's on the line ultimately,
Right.
and it's not above. I don't think it's beyond his. I don't think it's above him for that for these things to be true either, and I don't think it's above anybody else to be on some fuckery too on the other side. Whoever's going after him, whether it be his daughter or people that's in his daughter's ear, perhaps.
Right. Right. I agree that it definitely shouldn't be played out online. But basically, you can definitely still be a deadbeat while you're paying child support, and you can be a good father and not be paying child
Yeah, child support is not the
support.
all the tell all.
Well, it's just another program that was put together that fucks up
Right.
families and
Right.
destroys families. In my opinion, I never believed in the child support system. I never put my kid's father on child support, and he thinks it's for pride reasons, right? Like, I don't need you. I don't need no help from you. Definitely not true. I didn't want to put him on that paperwork because the child support. I got three brothers. They for years didn't have their driver's license and had child support in the rears, and the moms wouldn't
Yeah.
take care of the child either. Let me pause my phone. Hold on. But most of the time the mothers wasn't taking care of the child either, right? So once you get whoever's taking care of the child, you putting them on go get welfare benefits or food stamps. The system put them on child support, and the system get all up in the dad's business. They give the mom whatever little benefits they get, and they put the dad on child support, but it stays there forever until it's paid off. If you can pay it, it hurts you at getting your license and just living, just surviving. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when I think it's despicable when people put another person on child support, whether it be the mom or the dad, because you're using the system of supremacy of oppression to and you're assisting that system against your fellow man. That you're
Yeah,
really in
yeah,
battle. You're
yeah.
really in
There
a
you
battle with this with them. And
there
there's
you
something
go.
called Title 4D, and a lot of people don't. Most people don't know shit about Title 4D.
Never heard of it. Let me
And
Google.
if you Google it, you got to really like dig deep into it. Title
Hmm.
4D, if you Google it, would just say it's the system that protects children and makes sure that
Mm.
the children are getting the proper funding. But It's way more sinister than that because when it's basically the way that the government siphons money out of the taxpayers' dollars back into their into their into their pockets. When you when a state when a state puts a person on child support, they get $1 for every dollar
Mm.
that the every dollar that the man or the woman pays in child support. The
Mhm.
state gets $1 for it. And it's
Mm.
not compensate. It's not a what's it called? A compensation. It's an extra dollar.
Reimbursed, yeah. So it say
It's not reimbursement. Yeah.
the federal government under Title 4D, the federal government reimburses states $2 for every $3 the state spends on eligible program costs for providing child support services. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's
the
not.
state is getting paid. There, that's just a portion of it. That's just $2. The other dollar is getting covered, and then there's more on top of it. It's a whole system. That's why the Trump administration is in there cleaning out some of these systems and some of these points, like the child support system. Some of these things that he is thinking about the child support system actually, but some of these other things that are set up that hurt the black community the most needs to be brought to this administration's attention.
Yeah, they
And
don't care about that though.
if it's brought to their attention, it doesn't matter if they care or not. If you care, if we care, we bring it to their attention. They're in there changing shit and cleaning shit out. So it's time for black people to get their issue too. But if nobody goes there and says, we need this, we want this, guess what? We're gonna be on the back burner like we always been. But that's just my 2 cents. My little opinion. But
Yeah,
the the child support system, well, he's changing. Number one, I have read that Trump is making some changes to the child support program. Um, let's see. One thing that I heard is that if somebody pays child support, the other person or the custodial parent will not be able to claim their child on the tax
yeah, that's
return.
what they said, but that's not a real thing.
Yeah, I
That was
know
just
that's not
something
a
that.
real thing, and it shouldn't
Yeah,
be a
that
real.
was.
It shouldn't be a real. I know it hasn't happened, but it was actual talk within the administration. But it should not become an actual real thing.
I think it should. Well, we're talking about because if a person's paying child support, then that person is the one that claims the child on the returns, right?
Mm, that
That's what.
it yes, yeah, kinda,
Yeah.
kinda. Yeah, I
I
guess.
think that's legit,
That
but
one person
that's not going to happen.
couldn't. But what if you're paying child support, right? You're not taking care of the child 100% because the child is still living with the other parent.
Right.
So the other parent is still caring for the child too. Now, if he made it where you can both claim the child and get a portion of a credit or a refund or something like that,
Yeah.
that would be cool. But the person who pays child support is not the custodial parent. Usually not, right?
Right.
So
It's never. Yeah.
so the custodial parent should still has to support the child too. So you shouldn't take all of the benefits away because one parent is paying child support. That child
Yeah.
support may not be, it's
Yeah.
not going to cover
It shouldn't be an incentive for people to. For this should be it should be incentivized for mostly the mother because this is usually the mother's position
yeah.
to have no to get all the benefits from doing such a thing and to have no sacrifice that they have to make. So it's just a win 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 win. There should be a little bit of fairness. That way the
There's definitely
integrity of that person is not compromised through
mhm,
the incentives, through the financial monetary incentives that come along with it.
mhm, mhm.
Because that just leads to unfair treatment of the man, which is disproportionately the case, and it leads to the state of where we're at as far as the nuclear family being split up
Mm,
on a more than consistent on a very consistent basis.
yeah, it's part of the plan.
Right, it's part of the plan.
Part of the
And when a
plan.
woman's complicit in that plan, then it makes her a piece of shit to me.
Oh, damn.
I don't respect that at all. You know,
You don't respect that, huh?
Kizzy would be very disappointed. You know, Kunta's baby, Kunta's daughter.
Oh, you know about Ruth?
Of course, I know about Roots.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know about Roots, huh? Kizzy
Yeah,
would be.
Kizzy would be. Yeah, she'd be upset. She'd be disappointed in all you bitches.
Yeah, I mean, because shit, nowadays there's abortions and child
Yeah,
support. There's so much that's breaking up the black families, the nuclear
yeah.
family, like you say. Nobody's promoting that. Nobody's
Now there's no money in that, and it's really just to oppress the Messiah. You know, I don't know
but
if you understand what I mean by that, but or if
I
people
don't.
understand what I mean. But the Messiah is they're scared of a strong black force coming out and revealing and awakening his or her people,
Ooh.
and so they do this. They take all these measures into making sure that they oppress the Messiah from uh, from rising from the from the whatever, from rising up and saving its people. It's a very big incentive because once that if that ever happens, then the whole system breaks down, and it just falls apart and it's over.
Okay, but this is my thing. We've been knowing from the beginning that there's been a plan against us, working against us, them against
Right.
us. Why
Right.
do we always play right into their little hands? Why do we never band together? We know there's a plan, right? Why do we never band together and go against the plan? Why do we always just fall right into it?
I think that we don't have enough we don't have enough camaraderie. We don't if it takes more than just it takes more than just even half of us. We don't even have it's not even half of us that are down with for the cause, but it'll take a good a good majority of us in order to be able to implement that. And we're not even close to that. And there's too much incentives for too many people to not to just go along with the system because it works for half of the people. You know, it works really well for half of the people, and then they're not gonna sacrifice the human nature is against it goes against human nature for the person that's benefiting to sacrifice their benefits in order for the greater good because it's a sacrifice. It's an uncomfortable um, transition. It's
Right.
kind of like getting off of welfare. A lot of people stay on welfare because in order to get off, it's going to be an uncomfortable transition. You got to start working and making more money, and then you're going to be broker basically for making more. So nobody wants to do more and have less.
Yeah,
This kind
but with welfare, the job you're supposed to get a job where you're making more than the welfare check is giving you. I mean, it's.
but then you're paying more. Then you have to pay your bills now. Now you have to pay your rent.
Oh, you
So
mean
you have to make
welfare plus Section 8 plus food stamps? You don't want
well that all falls under the umbrella of welfare. Yeah.
to.
So it's
No.
you make more money when you make more money and then you disqualify from welfare. You end up having less. You end up being less. You end up having less money ultimately.
Yeah, so
Your surplus.
you lose your cushion. People don't want to lose their cushion.
Right.
It's,
And
it's
then you got to tie your now your time is tied up. Now you're giving more for less. So
hmm
that's an uncomfortable transition. That's why I call it the nigga trap. That's why people get trapped into those
Ah,
places.
like that. Spit. I need to write that down. The nigga trap. Like, don't make you crazy.
Yeah, Ice Cube had a that's an Ice Cube reference. He had a song called Nigga Trap.
Really?
Yep.
Damn. Now, Ice Cube got out of the nigga trap. That nigga,
Yeah. Ice
he
Cube's a real one too.
oh, he's a real one. He's been married since probably since college. He's
Yep.
a family man. He keeps that shit, you know, out of the public eye. He got on
Yep.
the scene, made his money in what was popping at the time, gangster rap, and then went right into movies and just
Yeah,
doing it
he
ever
never
since.
sold his soul.
And
But you know, he's not as big as a guy like Diddy or Jay Z, but he still kept his soul, and he's still very well respected. You know, he's compromised a bit, but he's an upstanding, solid dude, and he's well respected universally. So that's a good example but then, that's a very anomalous entity that he is, but that's a good example of a person standing on their business and still thriving in. Yeah.
yep. And he was speaking a lot about the struggles he had trying to get the big three going. How
Yeah.
the ideas that he came up with, the actual basketball industry is trying to step on his ideas when he's not stepping on theirs. What he's doing is
Right.
different from what they're doing. So he has a whole different. There's room for both, and it just shows
Yeah.
that there's always somebody trying to hold you down or keep you back. He talked about
Yeah.
all those struggles with the big three. Also, when he wrote that black plan to give to the president, they tried to
Yeah.
cancel him for that.
Yeah.
Remember that? Because they're like, "Oh, you talking to Trump, and now you wanted him," and he like, "I went to the Democrats, and matter of fact, he didn't go to either one. He wrote the plan, and they came to him. He it's available. The plan, put the plan together. It's for Black people. It don't matter who the president is. But they tried to cancel him just for trying to make a plan to for Black people to have financial literacy, stability, a fucking plan for us because we obviously can't figure out the shit on our own. They try to cancel
Well,
IQ for that.
yeah.
Black people. I'm not even talking about white people trying to cancel him. I'm talking about Black people was trying to cancel
Yeah. Every black people, there's black crackers and white niggas. So everybody's in the same. Nobody's above it.
him. And look, I'm like Georgina. I got my little notepad. Black crackers. Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Black crackers and white niggas. What that mean?
That means that some black people wanna crack the whip on other people and keep
Uh.
people in their place, and then
Mm-hmm.
some white people are tapped into that raw energy, and they wanna see you overcome, and they wanna be a part of the Messiah, or wanna be an assistance in the Messiah. But it's not really about a color thing or a race thing. It's not necessarily all about that.
Mm.
But yeah, there's some black people that are crackers too. When I say cracker, I use it a loose term to talk about white people, or to say what to refer to white people. But
Mm.
the true term is the cracker is the one that is the poor white person that was employed by the slave master that whipped the slaves.
Mm.
Kind of like, and they're
Crack
really
the
what
whip.
the
Crack the
yeah
whip. That's all I used to
yeah
crack.
yeah. And now,
Uh,
and those are the police now. The police and the judges and the lawyers. Those are all the crackers now,
yeah.
keeping the nigga in his place and spanking him and whipping him when he gets out of line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that
So
shit.
black people engage in that type of shit too.
A nigga trap. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So them is the house niggas. Them is the Samuel L. Jacksons from Django niggas.
Yeah, that's a slightly different. Those are the house nigga is the one that is comfortable in his position with the as a slave, and
Ooh.
and looks down on the people that's really got the field nigga that's really doing the hard work. And thinks
Mm.
that he's better. He's the uppity nigga.
Yeah,
He's the one that
that
had
was Samuel L. Jackson. That nigga was uppity in the motherfucker. Old and
right.
ugly as shit.
So a house nigga in today's world would be a person, a corporate black person, that feels like other black people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, and if they can do it, then why can't they do it? Type of shit.
Mm.
Because he got rewarded for being a good old boy and going to college and doing all that shit and making his employer rich and stuff.
Right. You ever see that Dave Chappelle when good good jobs go bad or I forgot the
When keeping it real goes bad.
keeping it real goes bad. That's what it is. When keeping it real goes bad. You see the one when dude had the good job. He was a black dude and he had made it in corporate America. And he said that
Oh yeah,
everybody
it
kind
was
of likes him, so that already makes him feel like a sellout. And then
right.
and then in the meeting, I think his coworker was like, "Give me 5" or something like that.
Like, give me some skin, huh? Something like that. Get your mother. I'm a big Chappelle fan. I seen every bit on the
Oh,
show.
for real? He's like, Wu
And then
Tang.
that when they paused it, and then that look on his face when he closed his eyes, that shit was hilarious.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
your motherfucking hand out my face. Give me some five on the black hand side and all that crazy jive. That shit was fire. Chappelle's a genius, man. My favorite.
Oh my god, yeah, that shit was hilarious. Yes, yeah, it's like that when you black, you feel like somewhat when you make it. I guess I mean Chappelle hit it when he said you automatically that makes you feel like a sellout because white
Right,
people like you.
right. And if white people like you,
Yeah,
then that means that you're serving the wrong cause. I
yeah,
mean, not always, but
right.
typically, yeah.
You're not pushing back. You're not stepping on their necks hard enough if they like you. You
Yeah,
know,
you're going along and getting along, and it's a
going
lot of sacrifice. A lot of people don't like. I don't envy those people. Like they got. I can't. It's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of sacrifice, and it's a lot of. It's hard. It's hard. It's a hard life to live.
yeah, yeah. It kind of fuck is because you got to be somebody else most of the time.
Yeah.
you know, you got to put on the face. It's like an actor though, like
Yeah.
or even an entertainer like Snoop Dogg. He can't be Snoop Dogg all the time. He has
Yeah.
to put on the Snoop Dogg. He's sometimes
Oh,
husband and
remember?
grandpa and dad. That's
Yeah. Remember that video that you accidentally put up about Dr. Dre? I think that happened on this show
what
about
was it?
Dr. Dre talking about a tape.
What was
Didn't
he?
that happen?
I don't
So there's
remember.
a tape. It was on TRL from like 20 years ago. And he's
Mhm.
like, I really want that tape back. And Snoop was on it. It was an X-ray tape. Snoop was in it. Like, what
Oh,
kind of weird ass shit is that? Snoop Dogg. Ain't nobody's hands clean. Like Snoop Dogg, they all do some weird shit.
yeah.
Trying to get his tape back. That he had. I don't have any X-rated videos with my boys in it. Okay, promise you. That's just weird.
That is hella weird. Yeah, they all do. Yeah,
That's weird as fuck.
because he said that was like our Arsenio Hall interview. You sent me
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Arsenio. No, it was on TRL with Carson.
Daily?
Carson Daly. Yep. Yep.
Daily? Okay. Yeah, they really shouldn't have been talking about that there, but
No.
so many
That shit
things
just
were just okay. Number one, we didn't know. Us in
right.
the public didn't know all of that weird ass shit. Like the roast. When they do the roast now and how
Yeah.
they air it. Back in the day, they didn't used to air them roasts, and them roasts would get foul. Them roasts, they'll be talking some behind the scenes stuff that only the actors and actresses know about. Like you see the
Yeah.
one when they were roasting Richard Pryor. I think
Yeah.
they were roasting somebody, but they kept talking about the gay shit they do with each other, and it was like Richard talking about fucking Paul Mooney, and it
Yeah.
was just all on some gay shit, and they was all laughing,
Yeah.
but those roasts,
Richard Pryor was a bisexual, if I'm not mistaken. He
yeah,
talked about sucking dick and shit. I think that he was getting whored out because he lived in a whorehouse
his
and he was
grandmother
getting
ran a whorehouse.
yeah. And then he was make they made him do if they wanted that little boy, then they got him type shit. Now he
Oh,
was that little boy
where do you hear that at? I know his,
from him.
oh, really?
Yeah, he's talking about how sucking dick is addictive. At first, it's nasty, but then you're like he gets addicted to it and he wants to suck dick. And
Where do
it's
you hear that at? Where he say
from
that
from him. I'll send
at?
you. I'll
Where
send you.
though?
I'll have to send it to
You
you.
yeah, I wanna see that. But, I know his security or somebody that he used to work with years ago came out and said that Richard was doing some gay shit. And Richard was, like I said on that roast, he was saying he was doing some gay shit. So it's definitely believable. But I never heard the sucking dick one. That's crazy.
I know it is crazy. It's
I
crazy.
know.
It's crazy. But it takes a lot of these comedians. They go through a lot of trauma. So they all got kind of have that similar thing in common where they're a little bit fucked up.
Yeah,
Not all of them, but
I
definitely the
mean,
case with Richard Pryor and a lot of others.
nowadays, kind of that goes to 99% of the people in the world. Probably 100% of the people are a little bit fucked up. We all had
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
that was traumatic. And nowadays you see it. If it didn't happen to you, you got too much access to see it happen to somebody else. That's traumatic. All
yeah,
of our things are fucked.
yeah. It's a wild world. It's a crazy world.
Yeah, that's why I want to do some shows with you on the metaphysical. I know you know a
Yeah,
little bit about that, and I know you read some books about that, and I'm definitely interested in that type of talk. The what you call it, the esoteric codes and esoteric knowledge.
yeah. Esoteric just means like hidden.
Okay.
Esoteric, if esoteric knowledge is just like it refers to ancient wisdom that has been suppressed in today's world.
Mm, yeah.
So yeah, it hits on like go back into to the Egyptians and what the kind of things that they practiced, um, the rituals that they engaged in, and similar, not well, similar to what the powers that be in today's world that they engage in when it comes to like rituals. We were talking about Diddy too,
Mhm.
the ritual stuff that they do in order to gain their favor from their gods,
Mm, mhm.
and how they tap into like the lower frequency stuff in order to get material goods in this world,
Mm.
and and how that coincides
Sorry.
with our ancestors and how they did how the shit that they did, but they didn't do it. They were tapped into like higher frequency shit where they were um their goal was for universal, um just not material stuff, not demonic, not lower level shit like what the Vatican practices today
Oh, the
when it
Vatican
comes
is
to
still on their bullshit.
yeah, the Vatican is alive and well. It's the Catholic Church and the human sacrifices and the little boy sacrificing the virgin girls and you know
They still
fra-
going on with that today.
yeah, getting power. There's a book that Aleister Crowley wrote, and he's under the umbrella of Satanism.
Yep, heard the
But
name.
it just yeah, he was I made a reference to that too because Jay-Z had a shirt that said "Do what thou wilt," and that was a quote for him.
Mm. Yep.
And the message behind it is just that do what you want to do. You are God, and you do what you want to do, and you manifest what you want in this world. But which I agree with too. But
Okay. I was just about to say, ain't that what the esoteric knowledge said?
yes, but when they're using it for evil and using it for power and oppression, that's when it gets into the wrong hands and it's on only the hands of few, and they keep it from the masses in order
Mm.
to control and reign over them. That's when it becomes diabolical, and um, a that's when it becomes a conducive to the prosperity of all, and that's not what our ancestors practice.
Mm.
That's an abuse. They're abusing the esoteric knowledge in their own favor,
Mm.
using it for evil.
Mhm. Mhm. Got you. They tapping into it in the demonic way, in the demonic sense,
Yep.
and it's got a spell over all of us.
Right. And then we're not combating. We're trying to compete in the matrix and not competing on the metaphysical level, in the metaphysical realm. We can never win because we're losing the spiritual world, and it's just manifesting in the third dimension. It's just manifesting in the third dimension. I should emphasize.
Which is
As
our
a-
dimension.
right, as
It's
opposed
the
to
third dimension.
yeah, and we're trying to fight in the third dimension. We're trying to fight in the realm that is the projection or the manifestation, as opposed to fighting in the spiritual realm and then reaping the fruits and the benefits of the manifestation. If that makes sense.
I kind of get you. We're fighting on the wrong side.
We're fighting in the wrong realm. We're fighting. It's like when you're playing a video game. If you don't train up your fighter, so to speak, but then you get into the fight, and then you're wondering why you're losing. It's because you didn't do the work on the higher level to get your fighter to where it needs to be in order to fight the fight adequately, to be at an advantage or be fighting an equal fight.
Okay, now you lost. But
It's like we
they
got to strengthen
say,
ourselves spiritually in order to be able to compete in the third realm. We have to get stronger physically in order to be stronger in the material realm.
what about the dream realm?
What about it?
Does
Ooh,
that affect this realm?
I mean,
Because some say, okay, this is where I'm going with this. Some say
yeah,
that the dream realm is really the realm where we're free, where our mind, where we can do what we want to do.
yeah,
This realm is kind of like, um, I don't know
the
what to call
prison realm. We're bound
it.
to
Yeah,
our avatars.
yeah, and the dream realm is like when we can rest our bodies, but it's really our minds that is still going to work. Then
Yeah,
I'm not explaining it right. I don't know if it was you that told me that or if I seen it somewhere else. But if you know what I'm talking about, expand.
yeah. I know what you mean. The spirit. It's like the spirit realm, where your spirit leaves your body, your consciousness leaves your body, so to speak, and you're no longer bound to your body. You're no
Right,
longer in the prison of the prism that is your body.
right. And most of us don't remember our dreams when we wake
No, right. But
up.
we
So
dream every day. And it doesn't make sense when we once we get back into our bodies and we're limited by our brain's capacity to understand. It
mhm,
doesn't make sense to us. But when we were in the dream, it made perfect sense.
right, right. So do you um do anything to try to make things materialize in your dream world that changes this world? I think that's what I'm going.
No, I have like I've always had what's called lucid dreams where I become like I can manifest whatever I want to happen in the dream. But I'm not sure that that's I'm not sure that is any correlation between what I can do when I get back into this realm. I
So
think
how
that
do you do it in your dream?
you basically realize that you're dreaming,
Yeah.
and then you can make whatever you want to happen in your dream, and it's really like a dope ass experience.
Really?
Yeah, you
And
can
then you
do any.
remember it too. It sounds
Yeah,
like you remember these experiences.
you remember. I don't remember what I don't remember, but I remember what I do, and I feel like I always remember when I go lucid, but I don't know that for sure.
Right, right.
And I
Sometimes
consider
I
you.
know I'm in a dream. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah,
Sometimes
a lot of
I
times.
remember my dream. Sometimes I
Yeah,
don't.
they say we dream every night. I believe we dream every night, but most
That's
of the time we can't remember.
yeah.
And when you smoke weed, when I stop smoking weed, when I have stopped smoking weed at times, I remember my dreams way, way more. My dreams become way more elaborate and way more memorable.
Hmm, hmm.
But nothing, no knock against weed. Sometimes I don't want to remember those dreams. Sometimes I don't want to, because dreams can get a little wild for me. When I after I eat mushrooms, my dreams start becoming crazy.
Do
Like,
they seem more real?
yeah, and like I remember them all, and then it makes it kind of scary to go to sleep sometimes because you're going into a different realm, and like sometimes you don't want to go there. So if I eat mushrooms like for the next month or so afterwards, I'll have these more elaborate and more crazy experiences when I fall asleep.
Mm.
But no knock against mushrooms because I think mushrooms are important. Psilocybin, I think, is very important for the awakening of the conscious mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to learn about that. The psilocybin, the mushrooms. What does it do? You say the awakening of the conscious mind. How does it if you take a mushroom, you eat it, right?
Yeah.
It's an eat thing. Is it something that you feel immediately and you can send like you no longer feel this realm and then you are
Yeah,
in
you got it kind
another
of fogs you, kind of puts you in between this realm and the next realm. And it depends on how much you take. You gotta take a good amount, a decent amount in order for you to cross over. But you can close your eyes basically, and then you can when you close your eyes, then you can really see. It's a
mm.
it's a different type of experience that only you can only experience. You can only understand by experiencing it. I can't explain it.
Yeah, Mike Tyson talks about it on his show. He used to on his old show, and Joe Rogan talks about the psilocybin, the MDMA. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the DMT,
DMT. Yeah.
and I
But
did
yeah,
DMT as well. Like DMT is a powerful thing too.
and
DMT.
Elon Musk takes ketamine.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with ketamine. It seems a little bit more. I seem like a little bit of a dirty, more of a dirty synthetic psychedelic, but I'm not that um educated on
Familiar with
ketamine.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems like all of these mind opening things people
Yes.
are taking again, and
Yes. Mind
yeah,
expanding.
yeah, mind expanding. Yeah, I first heard about it when Mike Tyson was talking about it and how you can see the difference in the old Mike Tyson and the new Mike
Right.
Tyson. So
Right.
something changed this man's life.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
this is psychedelics. Psychedelics are important, man. Like in the '60s, that's when everybody started experimenting with LSD and all
mm-hmm,
these different type of psychedelic drugs. And
mm-hmm.
that's when the love came back. You know, that's when "Say It
Yeah.
Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud" came back. That's where
Oh,
the hippies were really on their shit back then.
oh,
And then they brought in cocaine in the '70s and '80s and kind of like combated that. You know.
yep. Changed the game completely. And then they brought
Yeah.
crack in the 80s, and it was
Yeah.
over for
Black
niggas.
black
Or,
women were wearing afros back then. You know.
yeah, natural hair. Natural hair
Yep.
is back, though.
It needs to be. It needs to come back. I've been
Natural
rocking my afro lately.
Yep, yep, I
Yeah, I
know.
showed you a picture. I showed you my video earlier today. My shit's a little fucked up right now, my hair, but I've been picking that thing out and letting my shit. You know.
I ain't crazy about afros though. I ain't crazy. Those don't need to come back necessarily, but the natural, the
Yeah,
dread.
afros. I think that it's powerful. It's a powerful connector to
Mm,
your. Yeah, it's an antenna. Think about your hair as like an antenna.
I like
Some people have hair. I'm not gonna pick on nobody in particular, but some people have hair and some people have fur. And hair grows up and fur grows down. I mean, falls down. There's animals and there's gods.
that. You are crazy. Yeah, I like the animals and God. We gonna end on that note, no face.
All
We gonna
right.
end on that. But yeah, we gonna schedule you to just give us a talk one day next week. I want to hear about more about the esoteric codes, the knowledge, and how we can tap in. All right,
All right. All right. I'm down. I'm with it.
into that. So thank you for joining me tonight. I had a good time.
Of
I like
course, as always, and I appreciate you having me as well.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining me all the time. You guys, thanks for watching. See you next week. Ciao.
Peace.